Hello there, friends and RC family. My name is Alec from High Noon Hobbies, and if you're new to this channel, I very much appreciate you checking it out. I hope you will stick around, watch at least this video, see if this content seems worth your while, and consider subscribing so that then I can say to you, if you aren't new here, welcome back to yet another Friday upload. This time we are back out at the beautiful Desert Mountain in central Utah, centrally located so we can bring together the best drivers from the northern and southern regions of Utah for this 2023 North vs. South Utah RC Crawling Championship. Today we are looking at a different Class 2 course than we have had on the channel for the past few weeks, but if you did miss those videos, I highly recommend you go check them out. We have seen some of the best drivers from both North and South hitting the course, the first Class 2 course that qualifies them or gives them an opportunity, rather, to qualify for the top 5 final competition. So let's take today's driver as an example. Today we will be watching ScumbagRC, and I will make a caveat here that ScumbagRC and West Desert Wheeler are the two hosts of this North vs. South event, and because of that, they are not actually competing in the event to potentially win or even get into the top 5. So although we've seen both Logan and Luke run these courses, we are not going to see them in the top 5, or rather we didn't see them in the top 5, not because their scores were not good enough, but rather because they do not get to qualify for that top 5 because it would be unfair. These are the gentlemen that have been putting together these courses for the entire season, and it wouldn't quite exactly be fair to have these guys have an opportunity to qualify for their own top 5 of their own event. That being said, we haven't necessarily seen these guys fully succeed trying to hit their own courses, and that is because these guys do not set these courses up to allow for a perfect success every single time. Logan puts it perfectly when he says that he sets courses that challenge him, that push him to the very limit, and that he doesn't necessarily make it through every gate every single time. There's just a tiny bit of luck involved. Obviously, you have to put your skill forward, you have to work as hard as you possibly can, and that hard work will unlock the opportunity to potentially get through these gates all clean. So, if Luke were to be able to compete, he would take that run that we saw just a couple of weeks ago from the first C2 course, he'd combine it with the score that we are about to see at the end of this second C2 course, and those two combined scores would be his placement score, which would potentially qualify him for the top 5. After all of the competitors have put in their qualifying scores, then the top 5 competitors for each class, Class 2, Class 3, and the MOA class, will all compete in a top 5 finals, and that finals will actually show where they are relative to one another for the final positioning. So let's get into this run, though. This is obviously, as always, just a little bit late to the show here. Saw a big crowd gathering around a driver, and I figured it could be an interesting one, so I started. It was like my RC spidey senses were tingling, and I just headed this direction to see what was up, and of course caught Luke right here at the beginning of the run. This particular course, I believe, does start with a bonus early on. If someone was here and watched a lot of this course, if you could let me know in the comment section down below, did this course also start with a bonus? Because I've watched this footage now a few different times, and I've only seen Luke hitting one bonus, so not sure if he hit another one before I started filming or not, but I've taken the time that Logan gave us at the end of this video and used that to approximate the starting time that I missed. I used that to adjust the clock here, so the clock should be fairly accurate. We're headed into, we just saw gate number 2 and now gate number 3 and headed through gate number 4 currently. This was one of the more difficult little sections of this course, quite an interesting one. I really liked that little U-turn through that notch, and Luke actually actually handled that quite easily with this SCX10 Pro rig that he's got all kitted out here with a Bonehead RC paint job on that body. Really nice paint job there. And I believe he mentioned that he was running a Fusion an SE, I believe, in this in terms of electronics, so that gives you a sense of what he's running underneath the body. You might be able to pick out a few of the other parts as he goes by in some of these shots, and if you want to, as always, leave it in the comments section down below if you see something that you specifically like to run on your rig and why you like to run it as well. That gate there, I don't know that I don't know that the setter of that gate necessarily believe that this was Logan's course that he set. So Logan and Luke set each of their own courses. So currently Luke is technically running Logan's course. I don't know that Logan necessarily anticipated individuals would run that gate number 6 like that, just kind of squeezing their body through and scraping the top of their bodies in that V-notch. But he did even mention it as he was judging Luke here, that he did notice most people, that's how they were handling that gate. It's just a little bit too difficult to stem that V-notch, a little too risky, and as long as you were running a standard axle width, you were pretty much safe if you just shoved it in there, as long as something didn't break. Speaking of nasty V-notches, Luke now has to cross this nasty V-notch, but from the side. This is always a tough one, especially if you've got a big bumper that sticks out. You can see he actually applies the throttle as soon as he gets over that descent to try to keep that vertical height and get that bumper up and over that lower lip, that second lip. And it did work out for him, sort of, but he ended up on his lid there, had to take an upright, unfortunately. But after the bonus and just one reverse, it puts him at a +6. Unfortunately, tapping that gate as he goes through it there, very unfortunately, making it through the, I think, more difficult of those 2 gates. But a +16 coming into the final gate here, not too bad at all. Running a little low on time, but still has plenty to make it through, and unfortunately just taps that gate there, leaving him with a +26. So a few small mistakes right there at the very end, leading to a higher score than he necessarily should have gotten there. Otherwise, I thought that that was an incredibly clean run all the way through and through. And a 4:11 finishing time, very, very impressive. As mentioned previously, these guys were running this course faster. These guys, meaning Logan and Luke, were running these courses faster than the rest of the competitors. But that's all I've got for you folks today. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you got to learn something watching Luke run through this course. I know that I certainly learned something every time I watch Luke running a course. He is quite a capable driver and always bringing some new kind of tricks that I can pick up, but it's also always just fun. So if you didn't learn anything, I hope you at least got to enjoy. If you did, make sure to like, give this channel a subscription so you can see more content like this every single week. And as always, we will see you on the next one. Until then, enjoy some scale trail and maybe some hard lines, and I hope you guys all enjoy yourselves. Until next Friday, cheers.